This is a comparison of the center of the Imperial Roman Forum, the top being a scholarly reconstruction and the bottom being today. On the right is the Basilica Aemilia, a civil basilica built in 179 BC, heavily restored by Augustus. Very little remains today. After the sacking of Rome by the Visigoths, which caused the roof and facade of the basilica to be destroyed, it was restored, but an earthquake in 847 caused the final collapse of the remaining structure. Some remains were still present in the Renaissance, but were used for the building of a town house for a cardinal. The large building further up to the right is the Curia Julia, commissioned by Julius Caesar and finished by Augustus in 29 BC as the Senate House of Imperial Rome. The Curia is one of a handful of Roman structures that survive mostly intact due to its conversion into a church in the 7th century. Up ahead is the Arch of Septimius Severus, dedicated in AD 203 to commemorate the Parthian victories of Emperor Septimius Severus. The well-preserved condition owes a good deal to its incorporation into the structure of a Christian church in 1199. To our left is the Basilica Julia, a large ornate public building used for meetings and official business. Initially dedicated in 46 BC by Julius Caesar, with building costs paid from the spoils of the Gallic War, it was completed by Augustus. Partially destroyed after the sacking by the Visigoths in AD 410, the site slowly fell into ruin over the centuries. Most of the building was ultimately destroyed by the local Romans, who recycled the marble by burning it into lime, a material used to make mortar. Today, what is left are mostly foundations, a back corner wall with a few arches and a single column. On the right is the Column of Phocas, the last addition to the Forum, dedicated in honor of the Eastern Roman Emperor Phocas on the 1st of August, AD 608, to celebrate the reconquest of Rome from the kingdom of Ostrogoths to the Eastern Roman Empire. On stylistic grounds, the column seems to have been made in the 2nd century for an unknown structure and then recycled for the present monument. The preserved temple facade, podium, and foundations ahead belongs to the Temple of Saturn. The original dedication of the temple is dated to the 5th century BC, but the present ruins represent the 3rd phase of the temple, built after a fire in AD 360. Used as a repository for the state treasury, the 4th century rebuilding indicates a pagan revivalism during this time period, and the preservation of the facade and rebuilding points to the popularity of the Saturnalia festival. The 3 columns behind the Temple of Saturn are the remains of the temple of Vespasian and Titus, dedicated to the deified Emperor Vespasian by his son, the deified Emperor Titus, in AD 79. Next to it, to the right, would have been the Temple of Concord, dedicated to the Roman goddess Concordia, the first iteration built in the 3rd century BC and rebuilt by Tiberius between 7 BC and AD 10. By the 8th century, the temple was reportedly in poor condition and in danger of collapsing. Whatever was left of the temple was demolished around 1410 and the stone turned into a lime kiln to recover the marble for building. Only the platform remains today. Here is another view from the same road we just walked on. Again, from left to right, is the temple of Saturn, the temple of Vespasian, and the temple of Concord.